Good evening, friends. Welcome to Konexio Technical Insights. I'm Rahul Randeria, and I will be hosting the today's show. Today, we would be discussing regarding Nifty, Bank Nifty, and individual stocks. And in that, we might see the patterns, the setups, and the different angles from which we can analyze the future trend at this overbought areas. Last week, we have discussed that 13,780 would be the trend deciding levels, which was a multiple resistance area. And we said that once it breaks those levels, then we might see the levels of 14,041 levels. And definitely, we have seen a breakout, a gap up opening above 13,780, and slowly and gradually Nifty ended on the higher note on the year end. Nifty just made a high almost around 14,050 odd mark, and then closed around 14,015. But on the daily charts, we have seen that Nifty has formed a green candle with an upper shadow, which slightly indicates on the weekly charts that there was some sort of profit booking at the Fed end during the last trading session of the year end. Now on the daily charts, as you can see, the Nifty has been moving in an upward rising channel, making higher tops, higher bottoms from the March lows till the current closing. RSI has also placed in the overbought territory, and which is again indicating slight some sort of exhaustion in the last four trading sessions. Though prices were going up, but the candles are the range of the candle is getting narrower and narrower, which clearly indicate that some sort of exhaustion was seen. Yes, the prices was showing some strength, but it was not showing a decisive strength. But definitely looking at the RSI, we might see some sort of profit booking coming in the next week. But definitely at these levels, one needs to be a little cautious. Try to book profits at the higher levels. Overall trend is positive. The strategy would be buy on dips, but first we have to see that how much cool off takes place in the next week, and then depending upon the levels, we will take a strategy, or we will take a call from where to take a long and where to take book profits at the higher levels. Now, the crucial support in the Nifty are placed at 13,909. This is the spot level. The next crucial support is placed at 13,811. Whereas on the upside, the first resistance is placed at 14,141. If it closes above those levels, the next resistance would be around 14,214. So this is the range for the next week in the Nifty. Now we would discuss the Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty has been moving in a rising channel. You will see on the charts. It has been making higher tops, higher bottoms, and it has been overlapping in a particular range. Now, in the last 2 months, we have seen that Bank Nifty has been consistently facing resistance. As you can see on the charts, it has been consistently facing resistance around the upper resistance line. Last week also, it took some sort of profit booking at the higher levels and ended on a slightly flat note at the higher levels. Though the yearly closing was strong, but on the oscillator fronts, if you can see RSI, it is clearly showing a negative divergence. When the prices in the Bank Nifty were making higher tops, higher bottoms, the RSI was making lower tops. So again, in Bank Nifty also, we are seeing some sort of exhaustion. So next week, it is going to be tricky. Profit booking might be seen at the higher levels. The strategy would be buy on dips, but if for the week we might see a dip, and then again at the lower levels we will take a call that whether at what levels we should go long. Now, the crucial support in the Bank Nifty for the next week is placed at first support is placed at 30,880. Then next support is placed at 30,530. Now on the upside, the major resistance is placed at 31,150, and if it breaks those levels, then the next level would be 32,032 on the upside. Again, looking at the RSI, negative divergence on the RSI, the Bank Nifty facing strong resistance at the resistance line. I would suggest traders try to be cautious. try to be light footed and book profits at the higher levels, at least for the initial 2 days of the week. Now, the third segment, which is the derivative segment. First of all, I would like to discuss the Nifty calls. The strong position has been built at 14,000 calls, as you can see on the screen, then 14,100 call, then on the upside, 14,200 call. So major, the upside resistance would be around 14,200. And again, it is matching with our major resistance at 14,214. So 14,200 would be the range for the Nifty in the on the upside for the next week. Now in the puts, again, 14,000 put has been strong. Open interest has been built. The next strike price would be 13,900 and 13,800. So most probably the range for the next week in the Nifty would be around 13,800 on the downside and 14,200 on the upside, purely based on the open interest built up, position building in Nifty calls and puts. Now let us discuss Bank Nifty. The strong open interest has been built in Bank Nifty calls are at 31,500, as you can see clearly on the screen on the chart, and next levels would be around 32,000. On the downside, I mean to say on the put side, the strong position, the concentration of the position has been built around 31,000 puts, 30,800 puts, and 30,500 puts. So most probably the range for the Bank Nifty for the next week would be around 30,500 on the downside and 32,000 on the upside. Try to book profits at the higher levels, because I feel that on the upside, the levels are kept and we might see some sort of profit booking in Bank Nifty also. So try to be a little cautious and light footed. Now the final segment of the day of the show would be the long term investment call. I have identified one stock which is from PSU Bank basket. The stock is Canara Bank. The stock has formed a clearly a rounding bottom, which is a very strong pattern. It could be a reversal pattern from these levels. Now you can clearly see on the screen, the rounding bottom has been formed from March 2020's lows, and the prices was going sideways, where the volume was consistently moving on the higher side. That is clearly indicating, and you can see on the tail end of the rounding bottom, there has been massive volume that been built from November till uh, till December. In the last 2 months, the strong delivery based volume and the trading volume has been built up in this stock. So I feel the stock has potential. Looking at the rounding bottom formation, the breakout is not yet done. The stock is on the verge of a breakout. Definitely, long-term investors can accumulate at these levels, which is 133. Even if there is a cool off, maybe 125, that range would be the ideal range to accumulate for the long term. And clearly, on the base of the pattern, I feel that the stock has the strong potential to test the level of 200. The target of 200 would be a long-term call. Maybe anybody who wants to invest for next 10 months or 12 months definitely can accumulate at these levels and on correction. And specifically for traders also, I feel from the current levels on the short to medium term or on the immediate basis, maybe for next 3 to 5 weeks, the stock has potential to test the levels of 160, 165. So definitely from 130, maybe 125, again for traders also, the stock is looking good. One can accumulate from current levels and on dips. So this was the observation for the last week, and on the basis of that, we have tried to identify some trend or some strategy for the next week. Prices are getting exhausted. Primary trend is positive, but looking at the exhaustion, I feel we might see some sort of profit booking in the initial week, maybe Monday or Tuesday, and then from the lower levels, we will see whether the supporting buying has come at lower levels. That we will update, or I will update on my Twitter handle from during Monday to Friday. So thank you very much for watching the show. Any comments you can give in the comment box. Have a nice trading week. Thank you very much.